So, let us begin with this amazing meme that perfectly describes how I'm sure a lot of people feel, including myself, about promises made, promises kept. Now, I am a big fan of what's going on in immigration. I think we let way too many people in illegally into this country, and it got really, really bad. And then, not only that, a certain administration that shall not be named made said illegal migration pseudo-legal by allowing the criminal aliens that were already here to apply for asylum, even though they were already in the country and already broken the law to get into the country. So literally anyone from MS-13 to your abuelo down the street could just hop over the border and then claim asylum once they got caught. And that's just, I just want to state it for the record. All right, we need to make sure that we understand exactly what's going on here. All right,
because it's absolutely fucking retarded.
Okay, thank you. And this is one of the reasons why I've been talking about justifications for suspending civil rights, is because if the situation gets bad enough, everybody knows that's exactly what's going to happen. Not for immigration. I'm talking about, like, say we got invaded, right? Just like Ukraine declared martial law when they got invaded, right? This is a normal European thing that they do. It's not really something we do here in the United States overly much. And it's considered an extreme measure to do so, but we've absolutely done so in the past, especially when we're at war, especially when we're in an emergency. I mean, like, it's one of these deals where I'm starting to not like the people this is what it boils down to. There were a lot of people who were with me, right, who are on the side of we should not be allowing criminal aliens to declare that they are asylum seekers if they are caught illegally in the United States. And we should not be we should, plug up the holes in the border wall and try as best we can to keep people from just hopping over the damn thing. They need to come in through, the normal ports, be orderly and nice and bureaucratic and all that other bullshit. Because I don't see why we have giant bureaucracies if we're just going to, like, ignore them, right? We're going to pay all this money for these giant bureaucracies to handle all this bullshit, and then we're just gonna ignore all that shit. It blows my mind, right? So there were people who were agreeing with me back when that was happening, and those people are arguing against supporting the criminal aliens without the same due process as a normal citizen would have, right? And that's fine. They can do that. The thing that's really starting to make me angry, really, really angry, are the people who excused all the illegal stuff going on, all the criminality. They excused every fucking bit of it, made excuses, hid it from us. I mean, like, the trafficking kids thing was just, it blew me away, and it almost none of the mainstream media even covered it, including Fox for that matter. And all the people who were excusing all the criminality, now they care about law and order. Now they want the rules to be followed. That pisses me off. And so the people who are making arguments in good faith, I completely understand, and I'm 100% on board with what they're doing. Because they're arguing from a place of principle, and stuff like that. Like Devo is a good example of this. Short Fat Otaku. He's a good example of this. He was on the same side as me, as, we shouldn't be allowing this. Obviously, we should allow asylum seekers to come here. I'm 100% in favor of people who need political asylum to come to the United States and potentially stay here for a while before they need to go back home, or potentially even staying here permanently. I'm okay with that. I just don't think we should put them all in one fucking place in a small town in Ohio, or, giant enclaves in Michigan where all the Somalis go. Like, that's the thing. It's like, if you're a citizen, you get freedom of movement. And if you're a guest in this country, you also get freedom of movement. But if you're going to be a guest in this country and you want to live here, then we should at least limit how much of a giant enclave you can create in any singular place, right? That should be something that we should limit, right? Simply due to the fact that it could create bad outcomes, right? But like I said, it really angers me, all the people who are on the opposite side of the criminal aliens entering the country issue, but are now wanting to follow the rules. It really kills me. And to be fair, I want to follow the rules too. I just want to change the rules so it's easier to fucking deport them. That's what I want to do. I do not want to take away their due process. I want to give them due process. I just want to change it so that it's easier to fucking kick them out. That's basically what I'm throwing down there. Because we absolutely should not deny due process to anyone who deserves it. Simple as. No question. Yeah, that word "deserve" is doing a lot of work there. Maybe I should rephrase that. Is that natural rights are not given by the government, they're protected. And so in the state of emergency that we are, with the fucking all the criminal aliens doing all kinds of fucked up shit in this country, then yeah, maybe we should. And then the thing that bothers me is that I know that this is going to be abused. I know it is. Just like Blue Team abused the asylum process to allow millions of fucking people to come into the country illegally and like fuck up the border and shit. Just like I know that they abuse that. I know that anybody who is in power that does what I just said will probably abuse it. That's the thing. That's another thing that bothers me. It's like no matter what happens, we're not gonna get out of a situation where it's gonna be abused. We live in too big of a country that's too powerful, that has too many moving parts in bureaucracy that cannot be properly vetted. And that's another thing that it's really hard. It feels like to hold the government to account when you need to, and the only people that can are the two teams. That's the thing that really bothers me. So if Blue Team does something fucked up, only the Red Team has the ability and power and machinations to actually be able to hold them to account. But most of the time they either don't because they're secretly in agreement, or it's not really going to be politically convenient, or they're using it as a bludgeon to hurt the other team rather than actually like fix a fucking problem. And this is a problem with both teams, right? It's the same thing when Red Team does something. Blue Team are some of the only people that can really have the ability, the power, and the machinations to hold them to account. And 9 times out of 10, they either use it to beat the other side to death, or they use it for other political machinations and whatnot, not actually to fix a fucking problem. And one of the things that's also bothering me about this whole situation is that when you watch a lot of these hearings inside of the inside of like Congress or whatever, and you've got these people testifying in front of our congressman, what do you see when you see clips of that on like X or Shorts or on YouTube or Reels or whatever the fuck they're called? What you see is usually, most of the time, you see like one individual and they're like laying down the law. But if you actually watched the entire clip in context, where you can see where there's no cuts, then what you will see is that you've got this person who's fucking laying down the law, but the things that they're saying are not congruent with the things that are being actually talked about. That they're literally doing what they're doing to make a clip and put it on the internet. That's what they're doing. The road to any actual reform is hella fought, and when nobody is incentivized to actually fix problems. Yeah. And that's been the problem with immigration for 30, 40 years now, man. Like, it's 2025. This has been like Bill Clinton promised to fix immigration. George W. Bush promised to fix immigration. Barack Obama promised to fix immigration. Trump promised to fix immigration. Biden promised to fix immigration. And when you have executives from both sides of the aisle promising to do something about this problem, and it never fucking gets taken care of, it gets really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Yeah. And like I was saying about the clips, it's like you see it now. It's like, oh, I watch clips and I'm like, okay, you know, there's if I see someone who's just talking in Congress, I usually ignore just that. What I want to see is I want to see what was said before they started their fucking little speech, what was said after, and who they were talking to. Because 9 times out of 10, if it's somebody who's ideologically opposed to blue team, then the blue team members are literally just spouting off fucking excuse me, spouting off bullshit political lines to, you know, touch all of the keystones of their base. Oh, you know, you hate women, you hate minorities, you know, you want to strip them of voting rights, blah, 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 you know, all that shit. And I mean, Red Team does exactly the same shit. Let's be real. They are exactly the same in this. And I don't necessarily blame them because, what is it called? Clip farming? I think that's what it's called. I don't necessarily blame them. I just wish it were more organic. And this is one of the reasons, and people want to know why Trump feels like an authentic individual, even though he's not. It's that he doesn't need to clip farm. He just fucking rants, and it doesn't matter. Right? And it's one of the more interesting things about the psychological phenomenon that is Trump. At this point, I'm actually just flabbergasted, especially with the Bill Maher reveal about how the crazy man that we see on TV isn't actually what he's like. And yet he's considered one of the most authentic politicians, you know, on board right now. And the funny thing is I think what it has to do with is it's the same thing that I do when I become Tango Hotel. When I step out of my real life and I come on the internet and I'm this rather than the person I am in real life. These are pretty much the same. There's just one difference. And that is that I turn my personality up to like 11. Because, you know, I'm a goofy motherfucker. I like jokes. I like to have fun. I like to play. And, you know, my wife is the person who sees this the most out of me. And how much I just joke around. Like, it's actually a coping mechanism I had when my mom died and I was at the funeral home. That's literally the only thing I could do was just tell jokes all day, every day. It's a huge coping mechanism of mine. And so that's kind of how I feel that it manifests in our society. But anyway, to get back to this, I went off on a fucking huge tangent there. Yeah, I really do think that the reason that the Trump administration and all the promises that he made during his campaign, one of the reasons he made so fucking many promises was so he could do shit like this. Was so anytime there was bad PR or there was something going on, you have a fallback plan. You got 15 different things you can talk about that are these huge things, and they divide up into like 30 or 40 different things. And so you could just, oh, this bad thing happened. When the news starts talking about it, the administration just starts talking about something else. And I really don't give a fuck about putting tariffs on penguins. Like, you making fun of that doesn't make it any less retarded, right? Doesn't make you any less retarded for making fun of it when the point of it is to prevent people from going around tariffs. Like, okay. Who's actually the idiot here, right? Especially considering, like, he didn't actually put it on the penguins, he put it on the island. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But this is another thing that I've heard a lot of people talk about with Doge finding all the fraud in the government. Oh, I definitely believe there's fraud, and I definitely believe they're finding some of it. My question is, why aren't we naming names? Where are the arrests? Where are the perp walks? Where's the shame? Who are these people that are defrauding the government? I want them in jail. I want them tried. What the fuck is going on? Why are there no why is the DOJ not announcing, oh, we've got a huge giant fucking list of people we're gonna publish soon. These are all the people that defrauded the government, and we're gonna go right the fuck after them, but we need to make sure we get the police on it. A dog just barked. Excuse me one second. Oh, and of course, she's mad at the fucking cat for trying to eat her food. Okay, that's what. Thanks, dog. Appreciate that. Interrupted my goddamn stream. Anyway, she's a good puppy. Just giving her shit. Which is weird because the cat has food. I don't understand my cat. She's the most uncat-like cat I've ever fucking had, dude. Just like the rest of us, she's skittish and freaking, yeah. Anyway, so, but yeah, like, seriously, where are the arrests? Where are these people defrauding the government? Where are the FBI has all the client lists, right? Why are we not arresting people? Why are we not, even if we're not going to announce them, why are we not at least publishing this? If we don't have enough evidence to get a conviction, the government should at least put it out there and let everybody know. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I want to know who's defrauding the government. I want these people banned from ever doing anything with the government again. If you're defrauding the government for like Social Security or anything like that, and it's not like some like honest mistake, and you're just being a fucking shithead stealing from the government, then you should probably be banned from ever getting anything from the fucking government again that's not a jail cell. Cats aren't meant to be understood. You say that, but I've had a bunch of cats, and they've all had different personalities and stuff. This is the first cat where it's like she is legitimately like the most skittish thing I've ever fucking seen, man. And like the reason I say that is because she's lived with me for like 3 years now, 4. She's almost 4, and we've owned her since she was a kitten. We adopted her from an animal shelter, and I think she just had like a really bad experience at that shelter because there was a lot of dogs there and they were loud and barked all the time. And I think that's what it is that she's very sound sensitive. And I mean, she's still scared of me. Am I a big dude? Yes. Do I stomp around the house and it do because I just step heavy? Yes. And so she sees me coming, and if I'm walking toward her and I look at her, she bolts. But if I literally don't look at her and I walk up next to her and then I kneel and put my hand on her head, 9 times out of 10, I can pet her and she'll love on me and all this other stuff. But she'll run away from me. If I even show like the slightest bit of interest in her, it's the craziest thing. Anyway, so yeah, I want to know why are we not arresting people? If we're not arresting people, why are we not at least announcing that we're going to arrest people? Where's the list? I want the list. I don't care if it's Epstein's client list. I want the people defrauding the fucking government. If they found millions upon millions of dollars of fraud, if you have government employees doing shit that they shouldn't be doing, that's probably should be illegal, and we're firing them, why are we not arresting some of them too? Because the thing about it is that general government employees, I can understand them being able to get away with shit because of plausible deniability and people above them being able to like cover for them. But what about the people who authorize this shit? Why are we allowing these people to defraud the government? It doesn't matter if it was technically legal. If they're using legal technicalities to defraud the government, there's got to be something you can do about it. Like this is insane that we're getting all this shit about fraud, and I'm not hearing anything about any arrests. I mean, every now and then you hear something about the DOJ arresting people. But yeah, this shit really bothers me, man. That there's not, we're talking about holding people accountable. We're talking about getting all this shit in out of the actual government, and then this shit happens, right? It's all about the tariffs. There's not much else going on here. So there was 1 or 2 people that I've seen, but it's not like they're being held accountable for like the Epstein list or, defrauding the government or anything like that, right? For all the money that Doge has found. That's kind of what I was getting at. And it's really fucking annoying, and I'm not able to find it. Well, I saw like several different posts, and I was just like, oh, I'll obviously be able to find it later. But yeah, this is the problem I have, is that we're doing a trade war, which is not necessarily bad. Right? I'm in full support of fucking China, like they've been fucking us. I'm perfectly okay with that. It would be my hope that China could just follow the rules and not be a douchebag And then I'd be cool, because I don't want the Chinese people to suffer. I don't want Americans to suffer. Like, it's not normal Americans' fault. It's not normal Chinese people's fault that all this shit is going on. It has to do with our governments. You know, our governments made trade deals that were disadvantageous to the United States of America, and China made trade deals that were advantageous to themselves. I can't really fault the government for, you know, it's just like Trump says, I can't fault them for beating the fuck out of us if we just let them fucking do it. So, yeah, I mean, like, the fact that they're able to put their companies on our stock exchange and not follow the same guidelines as far as financial laws is, I had no clue that was the case. I knew they'd done like IP theft. I knew they'd done stuff like that. But to be on the stock exchange for damn near a decade and you still are not compliant with the laws of the United States of America when it concerns financing, or when it concerns your finances, that's ludicrous. Because I said this yesterday. If you did that, you would go to jail. Like, it blows my mind. It's just, and I'm sure there are European companies on the American Stock Exchange that have to follow the same goddamn rules, right? They'd go to jail, right? Right? So why are China companies exempt again? Why do they not have to follow the rules? Like, and here's another thing that I'm kind of blown away by. If they aren't following the rules, why don't we just delist them? Why don't we just take them off our stock exchange? Especially since we're now in a fucking trade war. Just fucking get rid of them. Is it going to cause too much pain? Is that what it's going to be?